Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Day in the Life of a Sports Photographer here in San Diego. My name is David Frerker, and in today's video, we will be discussing how to photograph basketball. This first segment is going to be a little bit of an intro and a little bit of a behind the scenes look of me photographing a basketball game from this past weekend. I had to cut the recording a little bit short, as you will hear later in the episode. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure to drop them below. Thank you for tuning in to this vlog. Today, I am going to be shooting some college basketball. This is the biggest game of the year for the University of San Diego as Gonzaga comes to town. And this normally is the only sellout game of the season. So this is my opportunity for crowd shots, crowd reactions, fans, pretty much anything that has to do with the crowd. So that is something that we will be looking to capture this evening. Also going to be shooting a portion of this game from the catwalk. So I'm going to take you guys up there with me, and hopefully we can produce some really cool photos. So I will see you guys when we get to the arena. So everybody, I am trying to get specialty shots. We are tipping off here at 7. I am up on the catwalk now. We have a bunch of photographers that are here tonight. So the goal for me, create photos that nobody else can get. Getting ready here to get our opening tip-off from above. So, this vlog started out on a good pace with my introduction, me introducing you to a few things, showing you a few photos, and here we are up on the catwalk. And let me tell you that if you don't like heights, it's extremely terrifying to be up on the catwalk. And this game was no different. The catwalk was actually swaying a little bit because there were so many people in the arena that the AC pumping. So I went ahead and made an executive decision and decided that I was not going to record any more footage because I'm literally like 200, 300 feet off the ground, hanging my camera over the edge. And I just didn't trust the camera mount that I have for video footage. Now, let's take a look at where on the court you are allowed to photograph from and where is the best point to photograph. I am going to pretend here that the majority of my players are right-handed. So that means we are going to be sitting on the right side of the court, and that works on both sides. So as you can see, I have drawn in color on both sides of the court, pretty much where I am going to be positioned for right-handed shooters. You would want to do this as well if you are trying to photograph left-handed shooters. Now, one of the most important things is when you are photographing and you are trying to show somebody a image of a layup, a jump shot, you always want to have the net in your photograph. You want those who are looking at your photograph to know where the action is happening. Because you could be shooting with a long lens halfway across the court, and the player could be jumping and trying to shoot an three-point shot or a half-court shot, and you would have no idea what's going on because there's no net involved. So many of us would assume, oh, okay, that's just a jump pass. So if they're shooting, the only time I would not include the net is if they're shooting a three. So that's just a tip that I have for you, is make sure you include the net in your image. Now, make sure that you get comfortable with the facility that you're shooting in. I highly recommend white balance, setting custom white balance. This, as I said earlier in our recording, is only the second season I've ever shot college basketball. For the whole first season, I had no idea about using custom white balances and specifically shooting basketball here at the University of San Diego in the JCP. The lighting gives off a tint. So you'll see that in some of the earlier photographs I've had, there's a weird hue, and that you could fix in post, but it is much, much easier if you fix that up front by adjusting or fixing your specific white balance. Okay, guys, in this final segment, I would like to talk a little bit about photographing point guards or anybody moving up and down the floor with the ball. I am going to show you guys a sequence of 4 photos. They were all shot at the same time, 2 of which are extremely usable photos, and 2 of which, if you are shooting basketball at a very high level, you would delete and not include as part of your photo set. Those images would be the player bouncing the basketball. Anybody with a camera or an iPhone or an Android is capable of photographing somebody bouncing a ball. If you want to make your photo extremely impactful, stop photographing the player or using the image when the basketball is not touching his hand. Literally, anyone is capable of taking a photo of the basketball floating. It makes it much more impactful to have the basketball on the hand, and this is something that I have learned from fellow USA Today photographers, fellow college basketball photographers, and from watching videos from professional basketball photographers. Thank you for checking out my YouTube video on how to photograph basketball. Do you have any tricks or tips or things that you like doing? Please feel free to let us know down below in the comments. Until next time, have fun shooting.